The last time we checked in on the St. Luke's, Ammon, Bundy, Diego Rodriguez saga, we were just getting into the closing chapters. 2 weeks ago, we were talking about day one of the penalty phase, the damages trial, which was another day in court where neither Bundy nor Rodriguez showed up or participated. That trend continued for the entire 10-day proceeding, which wrapped up late Friday with St. Luke's asking the jury to award them $37 million in damages, or at a minimum, $16 million. So a quick timeline of how we got here. Back in March of 2022, Health and Welfare took custody of a child known as baby Cyrus after doctors at St. Luke's determined he was malnourished, underweight, and in immediate danger. They did this after the parents had already missed several appointments to help get the child back on track health-wise. That child is the grandson of Rodriguez, a close friend of Bundy. So Bundy and several of his People's Rights Network followers showed up at the hospital in Meridian where the child was taken to receive that medical care, and they demanded the child be given back. Well, that didn't happen, and Bundy was arrested for trespassing. The protests continued, though, outside of St. Luke's in Boise, where it got so threatening, the hospital had to close for a couple of hours to visitors and divert patients to other hospitals. The child eventually improved and was returned to his parents, but by May, a couple of months later, because of the harm caused by Bundy and Rodriguez and their followers, the state of Idaho's largest health system sued the anti-government activists and a couple of companies connected to them. Even Bundy's campaign for governor was involved. They sued them for defamation, invasion of privacy, infliction of emotional distress, and trespassing. Weeks of paperwork and a lack of involvement by either Bundy or Rodriguez went by, so that a default judgment was finally issued by a judge in April of this year. Not enough for St. Luke's and their attorneys, though. They wanted to expose this ordeal for what they claim it was, a money-making scheme for Bundy and his People's Rights Network and Rodriguez and his Freedom Man Press. St. Luke's attorneys also claim Bundy is actively trying to hide his assets through shell companies, selling his house to his former campaign treasurer, who then started LLCs in Montana, that kind of stuff. This is something they hope to lay out in this penalty phase, which again began 2 weeks ago today. Well, the jury was given the case late Friday, and they deliberated until about 7 p.m., then went home for the weekend. They picked it up again today, and we're still waiting to see if they can come to any conclusion. All of this has happened without much of anything from Bundy or Rodriguez, other than online statements and videos put out. However, Rodriguez did put together a statement he wanted read to the jury, saying things like, "The world knows now that CPS, Child Protective Services, is a government-subsidized child trafficking operation, and every claim he made about St. Luke's is true, therefore, no defamation." Bundy put out another statement today saying massive institutions combined with the state financially benefiting when they take a child is one of the worst combinations a parent can imagine. People in a jury deciding how much St. Luke's is going to take from those who expose them is a mockery to justice. Just part of what he said. So you may be wondering, what's taking the jury so long? Well, according to KTV reporter Alexandra Duggan, who has been at the courthouse most of these last 2 weeks, 9 of the 12 jurors have to agree on how much money is awarded on each claim of invasion of privacy and emotional distress. And they have to do this for each individual plaintiff, of which there are 5 in this case. Oh, and they are both punitive and compensatory damages to decide. So there's 2 separate entities there, and there may be a lot of math involved. So the final pages of this saga have yet to be written, so stay tuned.